40? Whew. Alright folks, how are we doing today? We have a lot of stuff to cover. Apparently there's going to be 40 new cards added to the Pauper format, so I wanted to take this opportunity and go ahead and take a look at them by color, break them down, see what kind of decks I'm excited they're going to be in, see what y'all think in the comments below. We're going to start off today with white. And the first card I want to talk about is Spectral Grasp. Now, this card is showing up in Magic Online for the first time. So Spectral Grasp is an aura, an enchantment aura for a white and one generic that says enchant creature. Enchanted creature can't attack you or a planeswalker you control. Enchanted creature can't block creatures you control. So this is kind of a pacifism that if Boggles gets stuck in a situation where it is in their hand and they don't have any targets across from them, they can put it on their own creature and not worry about it, because that creature is never really going to attack them or a planeswalker they control or block a creature that you control. So as long as your Spectral Grasp is on your creature, it does absolutely nothing except contribute to a couple of things in the format. Ethereal Armor is number 1 in the Boggles mind, and Ancestral Mask is number 2 in the Boggles mind. So Spectral Grasp might find a home in that deck, considering the next card that I want to talk about. I want to talk about All That Glitters next. All That Glitters is another enchantment aura for a white and one generic. It says enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact and or enchantment you control. So the artifact lands are already prevalent in the format, so this gives Boggles an excuse to play them as well, in addition to giving them a third option for cards that have this sort of effect. Ethereal Armor giving first strike as well as +1/+1 for each enchantment you control. An Ancestral Mask giving just a plain +2/+2 for each other enchantment you control. So this may actually, it could either replace Ancestral Mask or add to it. This is one of the scariest kinds of enchantments when playing against the Boggles players. So having access to All That Glitters in addition to those two other ones, plus Rancor, Armadillo Cloak, the deck is just stacked with powerful, useful enchantments, and All That Glitters is just going to add to that. The next card I want to talk about is Sunblade Angels, originally being printed in War of the Spark at Uncommon. Sunblade Angel is a card that I'm not 100% sure where it finds a home just yet, but it does have a lot of keywords. Flying, First Strike, Vigilance, and Lifelink, all on a 3/3 creature angel for a white and 5 generic. Quite a bit of stuff going on here to be downgraded from uncommon to common. First Strike and Lifelink are very powerful together. Flying and Vigilance as well. I know that it is going to be extremely powerful wherever it is. The next card I want to talk about is Supply Runners. Supply Runners was originally printed at Uncommon in Jumpstart. It is a creature dog for a white and 4 generic mana. It comes in at a 2/2 and says when Supply Runners enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. So this card's going to be very popular in go wide strategies. It's going to give people who are interested in creature type decks a doggo to wonderfully slot into those decks. I know there's a couple of other creatures that have been printed, especially in the Lord of the Rings set of the dog creature type, to give that type of deck a great suite of options. But this card being a 2/2 for 5 mana is a little tough in the Pauper format, but the +1/+1 counters on each creature is very important. The next card we'll talk about is Minion of Obligation. Originally printed in Ravnica Allegiance at Uncommon, we have a human cleric creature for a white and 2 generic at 2/1 with Afterlife 2. Afterlife 2 is when this creature dies, create that number of 1/1 white and black spirit creature tokens with flying. So Afterlife 2 making 2 of those 1/1 black-white spirit tokens. That'll give the go wide strategies another creature that sort of replaces itself, kind of spreads itself out a little bit. It may even start to build out a aristocrats style archetype, giving us a 3-drop with a decent enough body that replaces itself with more bodies if it leaves the battlefield. The next card I want to talk about is Generous Gift. Generous Gift was originally printed in Modern Horizons 1 at Uncommon. It is a white and 2 generic for an instant that says Destroy Target Permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 green elephant creature token. Now, I'm not 100% sure if there's a whole lot of effects coming from white that say Destroy Target Permanent, especially in the Pauper format, so Generous Gift is going to be a welcome addition to white's arsenal. Most of their removal is Journey to Nowhere, sort of exile effects, so having a destroy that could even be potentially used to destroy one of your own cards to put a 3/3 into play. I know that a lot of people are playing cards like Ichor Wellspring in their Boros Core Skyfisher style decks, so Generous Gift might give those decks an option as far as removal spells, either to target their own stuff or opponent's stuff. And speaking of Boros Core Skyfisher style decks, next we have Mirrorsmith. Mirrorsmith is a human artificer creature for a white and 1 generic that is a 2/1. It says whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may pay 1 generic. If you do, create a 1/1 colorless mirror artifact creature token. Originally printed at Uncommon out of Scars of Mirrodin. I remember drafting this card and it being a absolute powerhouse if you could build around it well enough, but getting the artifacts you needed wasn't that hard in Scars of Mirrodin since they were introducing the Metalcraft mechanic. So having this in Pauper when Experimental Synthesizer, Frogmite, Mirror Enforcer, those sort of things. Ichor Wellspring is all over the place thanks to Deadly Dispute. So we're going to end up with plenty of artifacts to pay an extra mana to get an extra artifact out of, and that's going to help some of the affinity decks power out their Mirror Enforcers even faster. So that rounds out all of the white cards that are getting downshifted in Commander Masters. Is the one that I mentioned that stands out to you the most? Is there one of these that you are particularly excited to build around and play with? Let me know in the comments below. I'm looking to put out one of these for each of the colors available, so go ahead, like, subscribe, and look out for the next one. Until then, keep cooking, folks.